How's it going? This is James P. White from 95.7 Cruise FM, The Locker Room, the James P. White Experience, and welcome to the Jedi Jimmy podcast. Sit down, relax. I'm not relaxed. This is freaking exciting. I'm so excited about this episode. So, the Book of Boba Fett, Episode 4, The Gathering Storm. At the first scene was awesome. It actually did a flashback to The Mandalorian where Boba Fett actually found Fennec Shand, who was shot by the rookie bounty hunter Toro Calican in Episode 5 of Mando. Awesome. It gave that whole backstory. He took her to these mechanic dealers kind of thing where they put robotic parts in her to save her life. It gave a whole backstory on who they are, what they're all about, and where their relationship was. So awesome. One part of him saving her life, as I said, was when he was taking her to the get the modifications done at the mod parlors, as they called it. Like a lot of the gang that he has that's working for him, they've all been modded. They've all have cybernetic eye implants or a bionic arm or whatever. And so that was huge, the fact that he took her there in the beginning. And the episode actually showed a lot more features to to Fennec Shand's blaster rifle. Again, I said I'm going to delve into the weapons. She pulls out the butt of the gun. Not only is there, blades and other, throwing projectiles, but a probe. So she was able to use that at one part in the show to scan Jabba's palace before they stole Slave One. I'll get into that in a minute. Now, the scene where they actually took Slave One. So if you remember from Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett was working for working for Jabba the Hutt, not Boba Fett. He was working for Jabba the Hutt. He brought in, Han Solo, and during the whole Return of the Jedi thing. But so they still had his ship in their docking bay. So there was a whole scene of them, breaking into Jabba's palace, stealing Slave One, and so insane. It was a great battle. It was awesome. Now, one thing that you need to remember about Slave One is that was the original name, but because of the politically correct, it's not politically correct, or it's derogatory calling it Slave One. They've changed the name of his ship to the Fire Spray gunship. But what an awesome vehicle. I love that ship. That's probably, other than the Millennium Falcon, one of my favorite ships in the universe. Now, before Fennec Shand actually full out joined him, he told her, I've got some payback to do. He took out the riders that slaughtered the Tusken village that he was part of, the tribe, and he also basically blew the hell out of the Sarlacc, trying to reclaim his armor because he was not conscious when the what are they called, Jawas, stole his armor at the beginning of the season. But how he killed the Sarlacc was kind of a jump back to when the ship belonged to Jango Fett and the combat that he had with Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he used a seismic charge. If you remember from episode 2, of Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, he dropped the seismic bomb, which took out an asteroid and like everything around him. Now, Black Chrysanthemum, he showed up in Sanctuary, so that's the bar in where Jennifer Beals' character was there, and the fight where he was taking out all these Trandoshans, and he ripped the one guy's arm off, was awesome. Like, he just grabbed him and just went, ripped his arm off. Amazing. I loved that. Now, one prediction that I had in a previous episode that came true was when Black Chrysanthemum is now working for Boba Fett. He was hired. Boba said, "Hey, I think you need a job." He's building an army, man. I'm so excited. Now, Boba Fett actually showed his leadership skills with the other leaders or leaders of the gangs and clans in Mos Espa by basically saying, but he was treating them all with respect. He was living by the mantra he said right from day one, episode 1 of this show, Jabba ruled with fear, I rule with respect. And he is living it every episode. Love it. Now, a prediction I have coming forward. There was a scene at the end of the episode where basically, if you have the money, I can get you some people for our army. She alluded to none other than he was more from the Bad Batch than he was from the Clone Wars, but he was in Clone Wars as well. Cad Bane, the assassin, the bounty hunter, and I screamed out loud. I screamed like a girl when that happened. When she said that, I'm like, Cad's coming. I'm so excited. I need to see Cad Bane. He's like a blue alien guy with beady eyes. Awesome. Now, I still believe that the Trandoshan bounty hunter Bosk is coming. Either this coming episode or he will be here by the end of this season. And I really need to see that. There's going to be a lot of bounty hunters and a lot of assassins that are going to be joining good old Boba Fett. And I couldn't be more excited. Now, in the previous episode, I have not been noticed, or I haven't noticed or been notified of any mistakes that I made, but there was one thing that I missed. Remember in the last episode where there was where they had all those space Vespas and they were chasing after the Major Domo, and he crashed into something that dumped a bunch of fruit on him? You know what those fruit were? If you watched Rebels, you would know it was Melu runs. So it's like a spiny fruit, and Hera from the Rebels loved Melu runs. It's jumped out at me on my 5th time watching it. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Every episode, I have favorite quotes. Episode 1, Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect. Episode 2, fate sometimes steps in to rescue the wretched. Episode 3, take it from an ex-bounty hunter. Don't work for scugholes. Episode 4, that's today, the episode I'm talking about right now. You could only get so far without a tribe. He's building an army, baby. I'm so excited. This is going to be awesome. Again, thank you so much for joining me. But before I sign off, I need to give a huge thank you to all the people that helped me out. First of all, the Dean Blondell Podcast Network, deanblondell.com. Check it out. You can find my podcast and many others. And of course, Fire for Effect Productions. My buddy Army Chris, he helps me build this thing. This is his setup, and I'm so excited to be here. I look forward to seeing you next week. Stay tuned, baby. I'm in.